Check this out. Even if you are a Medieval 2 veteran, you might have never seen this campaign map before. But you know what? This was my first ever modding experience back in the day, and I feel so lucky that it was, because this is something as special but simple as a vanilla-like Medieval 2 overhaul mod. In fact, even though I often show off the most flashy or outrageously impressive mods on this channel, I wanted to pay some respects to a mod that offers just as much charm and perhaps even more nostalgia in a package that's just to die for, especially if you have a lot of memories from vanilla Medieval 2 and its Kingdoms expansions. This is the Kingdoms Grand Campaign mod, a mod whose name tells you exactly what you need to know right there on the box. Because remember Medieval 2, it offers a campaign from Ireland to Baghdad and Egypt to Denmark. Actually, scratch that, you can in fact discover the Americas in Medieval 2, making the map move significantly further west. Indeed, in terms of factions, it's not a stretch to say that the campaign is lacking, but this is where the Kingdoms Grand Campaign mod steps in and does what I thought up until a certain point would be the impossible. First of all, it expands the campaign map vastly. Landmasses are much larger than they used to be, and we have a lot more cities to conquer and manage, meaning every campaign is going to be that much larger and epic. And for more epic historical gameplay, World of Warships is a free-to-play naval warfare game available on PC, and today's sponsor. World of Warships is a massive and detailed game with a highly active community, and new content is released every month, whether we're talking new ships or ship classes, in-game nations, or cosmetics for these stunning 12v12 arenas. Sign up now with my link in the description and the code BRAVO to receive a huge starter pack including 500 doubloons, 1.5 million credits, 7 days of premium account time, and a free ship after you complete your first 15 battles. With more than 40 unique maps featuring dynamic weather with entirely new water effects and textures, the game looks more beautiful than ever before, making it even more fun to play as one of the game's many ship classes. From history's most iconic battleships, destroyers and aircraft carriers, to cruisers and even submarines. World of Warships is even available on consoles, but no matter where you play, it's up to you to choose your own tactics, whether as a team or a lone wolf. So make sure to download World of Warships for free right now by using my link in the description and the code BRAVO during registration to receive a huge starter pack including 500 doubloons, 1.5 million credits, 7 days of premium account time, and a free ship after you complete 15 battles. Thank you so much to World of Warships for sponsoring this video. Whereas Britain in the vanilla game offers 7 cities, France offers 10, and Italy also offers 10, Kingdoms Grand Campaign mods Britain has 19 cities. France has 11 and Italy has 14, and the same increase more or less goes for every other region on the map. But you might have noticed that France only received 1 more city, while the British Isles received a ginormous 12 more. So why is that? Well, as this is the Kingdoms Grand Campaign mod, one of the main features here is that more or less every faction from the game's expansion campaigns are included in this mod. This means that England doesn't own the Isles completely, no sir, but rather than just having the Scots as its northern neighbor, we now have the Welsh to its immediate west, the Irish in Ireland, and the Norwegians in the north. In other words, the British Isles has become one of the most densely populated regions in the world in terms of factions per square campaign, and I absolutely love it. Not only does this make for a much more fun campaign for England since of course they're not just bordering 3 to 4 potential enemies at home now, but due to their foothold in Normandy, they're also likely to deal with France, meaning it's possible to find yourself fighting a multi-front war if you're not careful. Another region that's gotten a massive overhaul in terms of factions is the entire eastern half. The Holy Land, just as in the Crusades campaign, now not only pits the Byzantines against the Egyptians and Turks, but we have both Jerusalem and Antioch there to make things interesting, with a bunch of new cities too. Further north, we have the Teutonic Order, Lithuania, Novgorod, the Kievan Rus, and the Mongols in the form of the Golden Horde that's actually settled, since this mod does take place 100 years after the original start date after all. The only part of the map that hasn't really seen the kingdom's innovations is the Americas, which luckily is still part of this campaign, but which doesn't feature any other Native American factions other than the Aztecs, which I can only assume is due to the faction limitation limits. Other than that though, these new factions and the expanded map makes for a much more interesting and diverse Medieval 2 Grand Campaign. But it does so while still maintaining that original vision of the game, without adding convoluted mechanics or scripts that work behind the scenes that are hard to understand or may not work. In addition, to fulfill that Kingdoms vibe, the mod adds the audio and visual aesthetic from the expansions. Now, depending on where you're located and your culture, factions will now sport their unique city and castle designs, and you can even place down forts like in the Kingdoms expansions. Personally, I love these new models a lot more, not just because they make the map feel more unique and alive, but because they're more detailed and culturally appropriate. In total, there are now 4 different castle models including the Aztec one, and I really love that even by just using vanilla assets, that the Grand Campaign can be spiced up like this. And that's not the only way it's spiced up. Every faction now comes with the music from their respective campaigns if they were a part of one. So the British Isle contenders, the Eastern European factions, and the Middle Eastern ones all have that new audio-visual vibe to them, and simply by keeping in line with the Kingdoms expansion's innovations. And while most of the factions remain the same as they were, this of course means that every new kingdom that's made their way into the game comes with their very own new units. The Norwegians with their two-handed swordsmen and great axes, the Welsh with their unbeatable bowmen, the Teutonic Knights with their menacing look, the Crusader states, now available in both white and gold, and blue and red, the Mongols and their deadly horse archers, it's all here, and all available for you to play. One of the only major features that Kingdoms Grand Campaign mod has added that wasn't in the game to begin with, and I'm so glad they did by the way, is a system of governorships and crowns. Characters can now be crowned king of their realms, and generals who spend at least one turn in a city without a proper governor will be given the title of a duke or similar of that city, lending a small but vital difference to the role-playing aspect of Medieval 2. And let me let you in on a little secret of mine. When I play Medieval 2, I often lament the fact that I can't play more factions at once, since I really want to play more than just one faction and see what's going on in different parts of the world. But did you know that the Kingdoms expansion actually introduced a hot seat mechanic, which allows you to play several factions at once? A personal favorite campaign of mine is playing as a European kingdom in the west, and a smaller faction in the east. Say playing as France and Antioch, or England and Jerusalem at the same time, kind of creating an empire and vassal type of campaign. Alternatively, you could play a bunch of different factions at the same time, say Norway, Jerusalem, the Mongols, and Castile simultaneously, giving you a diverse set of campaigns that all coexist, and which at some point means that you have to fight yourself. Of course, if you have friends play Medieval 2, you could toss them into the ring as well, playing different factions against each other, which is how I always did it originally back in the day with my friends. But this is all to say that I love how Medieval 2 Kingdoms brought so many innovations to Medieval 2. Innovations that never actually made it to the Grand Campaign itself, but rather innovations that our blessed modders have integrated for us, while also adding a whole slew of other features. Now, like I said, I'm used to playing much more complicated mods like Stainless Steel Historical Immersion Project, or literally anything else, because the most total overall mods change a whole lot more than this. But that's what I find so charming about this Kingdoms Grand Campaign mod. It really is Medieval 2 as you remember it, but it's Medieval 2 in the vision of the Kingdoms expansion, and it's such a beautiful concept. I can't believe this was the first mod I ever came across, and I'm so happy I did, because it wasn't overwhelming. It was quite literally just what I wanted. A Grand Campaign experience that allowed for hot seat, a bigger map with more playable space, and my beloved Kingdoms factions tossed in the mix. Now, I used to play this mod off of the original Medieval 2 Kingdoms disc version, but luckily, Total War modding guru Gigantus has patched up this old gem and made it compatible with the now much more convenient Steam version, meaning it's super easy to install from its Total War Center forums location, or perhaps even ModDB. Medieval 2's campaign, especially when coupled with the new Kingdoms features like these, will just never get old for me, although I very much would like that remastered Medieval 2 version I've been dreaming about, for some updated controls and the like. Have you played the Kingdoms Grand Campaign mod? And if not, are you thinking of checking it out after watching this? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want your game to look like mine, by the way, then make sure to check out this video, which goes into much more details about the camera and the graphics. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!